for you when you're done. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's great.
Great. All right, so we're gonna get going here, guys. Again, my name is Brian Bodenhamer, and we're gonna introduce Tony here in a second. And one thing I wanted to do real quick is, Refinery 46 is where you're at. This is a great location for a co-working space. If you want to get a membership, here's some cards. You need to talk to a gentleman named Addison Newell. Please keep him and his wife in your prayers today because she's having a baby as we speak.
Today.
So he's going to be a new papa. So memberships here are pretty reasonable. It's $150 a month. You get a free mailbox. You get access to this room as part of the deal. And the parking's free. And while we're talking about parking, if you're in that front row, you're okay for right now, but as a restaurant and the bar opens, they get a little bit possessive about the parking spots. So if you need to move back a row, that's fine. I don't think we're too worried about it right this second, but as we get further into the program, maybe after Tony finishes talking. So Tony and I just met just a few weeks ago, and I don't know, you may have to help him get some energy because he has no energy. And I'll tell you, he is a preventative, he helps you get going. And I teach driver's ed, and so I try to get the kids prepared. And what I tell them, and I'll tell you a story about Rocky and Bullwinkle maybe later, but he gets you prepared, and that's kind of what I do with the kids. And I always tell them, if what you're gonna do is gonna make your parents cry, then please, please, please don't do it. And same kind of advice when you're working with Tony, because if you're gonna go out and exercise, you're not ready to get going, and you're not stretched out, bad things are gonna happen. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So he started a company called Stretch, and he's located just north of here in Broadway. He started that in about 2020, so he's going on his third year. He started a business right when COVID was hitting, you know. I know that's just such a sweet spot. He's a graduate of Ball State, you know, chirp, right? And has 20 years of experience. And before he started Stretch Indy, he was a yoga master. He still is. And I asked him, if you could spend an hour with anybody living or past, who would you spend it with? And he came up with Bruce Lee. Because one of Bruce Lee's things is saying, be water, my friend. Just spot, fill it up. You know, water goes everywhere. I mean, we know the power of water, and I fully expect him to tell us a little bit about that. And I'm always looking for people with energy, and I say there's people with Eeyore energy, and there's people with Tigger energy. He's definitely Tigger. So with that, everybody, Mr. Tony.
Appreciate it. First of all, I want to say it's a blessing and an honor to be amongst you all today. Me and Brother James, it's kind of ironic how me and your brother met. And like I said, without all the rhetoric or whatnot, I like to get to the point and get to the mission. When I met Brother James, I think it was probably about a year and a half ago.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years. We sit in his office, we was talking, just brainstorming. I told him what I did, how I got started with Stretch Indy. You know, he was telling me about his business and things of that nature. So we were always trying to set up a meeting. And every time we try to set up a meeting, for some reason, we never connect. So, you know, I'm a pretty spiritual guy, and you know, I said if it's the will of the Most High, the Lord, it's gonna happen in what I call in due season. So, from that, this is what has manifested. But I'm gonna get to it. Stretch Indy, a lot of people, when they see Stretch Indy logo, they inquire, what is it that I do? I hear people, I even have the placard on my car. So a lot of people think, are you a golfer, or you know, what is Stretch Indy? My journey with Stretch Indy came about in 2013. Prior to that, I was dealing with some situations in my life that took me down the wrong path. Unfortunately, that path that I took, it allowed me to self-reflect for many years. So I had to figure out something. I said, you know, when I ain't getting no younger. I said, you know, life is steady, life still goes on. Everything is in rotation in terms of existing. So I said, I gotta figure something out, something therapeutic for me. And the thing that I had figured out that would allow me to get through this situation that I was in back in 1994 was meditation. And the doctor knows meditation is very therapeutic for the mind. Once I got off into meditation, I went off into what you call transcendental meditation. So I was having all kinds of different stuff going on, out-of-body experiences. It was unbelievable. They were on to the studio, Invoke. You guys are familiar with Invoke Yoga downtown. I taught there several years. And after that, I decided to figure out what it is that I'm trying to pursue. And one day I woke up, I said, I'm ready to start my own business. You know, it's gonna be called stretching. I said, okay, well, playing with a book and writing it down on paper, trying to figure out what works. You know, I already had the certifications, you know. Worked at LA Fit, a couple of LA Fitnesses, and processed it out, still trying to figure it out. And one day I just sit down and I wrote a whole business plan out by myself. I didn't need nobody to help me, you know. Like, wow. So I started making connections, you know. God started putting people in my path, helping me. Okay, this is what you need to do, you need to do that. I said, okay. Then I said, now I need to come up with a name. The first one was called Indy Stretch. I couldn't use that because it already took, somebody already had it. Then I came up with Stretch Indy. So, when I started Stretch Indy, I started doing the code. Started off with 2 clients. I was training right here off of 54th in 54th Street, a place called So Be Fit, with a lady named Laura. She had a studio there. They did a lot of personal training, Zumba, Pilates, and stuff like that. So I would, like I had my table over there, I would set my table up in the back over there, bring my clients in and stretch them. But prior to that, my first client I had, he was in a terrible car accident. And he had screws in his lawnmower, his F5 S1. When he first came to me, found me on Facebook, he said, hey man, I used to be an ex-athlete, this, that, and the other, man, I need your service. I said, okay. I said, we can make it happen. You know, I ended up getting my kinesiology and flexology certification from the Institute, if you guys are familiar with that. So now that I have that, now I understand the anatomy a lot better. So he came through the door, he was walking like this. So now I seen him, I looked at it, I let it, because I could look inside his body and I already know what's going on with him. I said, wow. So he said, man, what could you do for me? Mind you guys, I wasn't even using this. What we call old school. I had him on the floor. Had him stretched out on the floor. And when I first extended his leg, because you have what you call flex and extend. So when I extended his leg, he was so tight down through his sacral pelvic area. He couldn't even move. I said, wow, it's gonna be a challenge for me. But I was thankful for that because that allowed me to learn more about dealing with people that have various different types of physical ailments and things of that nature. So I stretched him. He worked with me for about 2 years. And every week, he was consistent. He weighed probably like 350. He's a big guy. Kept coming back. I continued to get better. You know, his posture started coming up. You know, and then one day he came to me. He said, "Man, look." Now mind you, this guy is probably like 47. Ex-football player, big dude. You know, probably as big as you, Brother Jack. He came in. He said, he said, "Man," he was so excited. He ran through the door. I said, "Man, what is going on, buddy?" He said, "Man, he said, look, man." I said, "Whoa." I said, "Oh, yeah." And from there, I took out. So, normally what I do is when I bring clients in, I give them assessment. I do a physical assessment on their body. I have them fill out my assessment sheets. Then I have what you call liability waiver. You know what I'm saying? Which you guys already understand how they go. And then I give them a packet. So this is a part of the packet. I'm gonna read to you guys what I give my clients. Mission statement. This is very key. It says Stretch Indy is a fitness, wellness, and health program. Our focus is geared towards assisting, providing individuals with helping them develop a stretch fitness program that is designed for their specific physical needs. Now, with that said, each and every client that I deal with, I design stretch programs for. Okay, so there's no two programs alike. And I think a lot of my clients like that because they are able to tell me exactly what's going on with their bodies, and then I can do the assessment and then go from there. So then I have the introduction. It says, my name is Tony Williams Bailey. I'm a certified stretch fitness trainer. I specialize in the areas of yoga, cardio aerobics, and strength conditioning. I've been teaching group and individual training sessions throughout the city of Indianapolis, Indiana for many years. I take pride in my training and very passionate about my skills as a stretch trainer. I find fitness and wellness is a lifestyle choice that every person, rather young or old, can benefit from at some point in time in his or her lives. My journey has been time consuming, and most of all, dedication along with commitment has enabled me to overcome many challenges. These key points are what I call primary tenets in the course of learning the science as a self-taught individual. So I'm self-taught. I taught myself how to stretch. You know. Thus followed by training, studying material related to the topics at hand. As a result, it has given me a level of awareness by appreciating the knowledge and the application, because it's key. You can't have one without the other. You can have the knowledge, like the sensei say, you can have the knowledge. Because that's your weapon, that's power. Brain is power. The five senses, see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, them are very powerful senses. And if you're not attacking to those senses, then you can make anything manifest just within your reach of existing. So sharing it with people who have a desire and willingness to learn and approach it as a lifestyle choice is very exciting to me. I have a passion for it. I love helping people. It brings tears to my eyes sometimes, man, when I see clients, man, diversity, color, whatever, where they come in, man, and they be so ecstatic, you know, because when they get off of this tape, they feel good. And they keep coming back now to it. And then some of us, I know from experience that once people become involved with the fitness component, it will bring them a peace of mind and also make them feel better about themselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. So, with that said, the reason why I brought my table here today because I wanted to possibly grab a couple of individuals, you guys, and do a demonstration. One of the ladies here, I can't remember what there she go. She said, do you want to get it big on me? So, you know, I don't really call it getting big no more because I've learned the science to the point where I can grab any person. It's just like you guys say, you guys were my client. I wish everybody here was my client. Yeah, that'd be good. But this is the development part right here. This here. Because I started on the floor. I still do old school, because I got some males, you know, that they like the floor. They like that old school, that floor, you know, where you can really get off into it, and you know, it keeps the bones strong and the muscles and stuff healthy, and circulation and stuff going pretty good. But like I said, this right here is this is where I do all my work with my clients. Now, also in my studio, I have what you call a teeter, which is an inversion table. My business card, you can actually scan the barcode, website come up, you'll see the services that I offer. The teeter is it's a hot seller now for me because I just started the service. Pretty much it works for people that's got back problems, degenerated disc issues, sciatic nerve, alignments off, you know, you name it. Stretch Indy gonna get you all the way together. You know, I take that to the bank for real. So today I wanted to just grab a couple of individuals, some willing participants, and take them through a stretch rotation. Because basically what I do is, here's one of the unique things about Stretch Indy is I stretch both sides of your body. Since like, I stretch both sides of the body, sir. I stretch your front, and then I flip you over, and I stretch you from the back. That makes sense. So you get all this stretch in the front, and you get all this stretch in the back of your body. So, like I said, you know, I don't really, you know, as far as a portion there or whatever, I'm open for that. But like I say, I'm pretty straightforward. A lot of times it don't require, you don't want to overflood people with too much information. Sometimes, you know, sometimes it's good to stay consistent with very, very little information because in most cases, they'll forget a lot. So, you know, if you kind of keep it simple, since they've been in the game for a while, so we acknowledge, you know, him providing, you know, us with good information. And like I said, his book is awesome. I purchased it when I first met him, and like I said, I'm just what you want to call it? Say it again, content? I do it. Content. What you looking at? Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely that. But most of all, I'm a healer. You know, and like I said, I've been demonstrating Stretch Indy for many creations. Not only that, I've worked with non-profit organizations, Willis Boys and Girls Club, fathers and family, all type of, I've been all across Indianapolis just building by myself. And that's what keeps me going. That's my motivation. Just on this note, I was speaking with your brother here. I was telling him my mother passed away. I lost my dear beloved mother last October. She had COPD, pulmonary obstruction pulmonary disease. My mother was 67 years old. She smoked cigarettes for 40 years. She came down with COPD. If any of you guys are familiar with that, it's nothing to play with. Then 2 weeks after that, my grandmother passed on. She was 98, had 18 kids. I got 7 aunties left. All my uncles are deceased. One of the things my mother told me before she passed on, she said, you know what? She said, the Lord will bless you with something. And she said, you keep doing what you're doing and get back to the community. She said, don't get that stretching up. She said, that's your passion. And not only that, I was telling little James, I was working about a year ago, jumping in and out of warehouse distributions, forklift. Right now, I drive forklifts all day. When I started Stretch Indy, my first 4 clients, I ain't had to punch a clock. Set my own schedule now. So I get up in the morning, go through my routine. I can stretch 4 or 5 clients out in one day and make a week's paycheck as opposed to getting up and going to work and making $16, $17 an hour. It's been a blessing for me. And like I said, when you have an opportunity to be within the midst of good people that's got good spirits, their energy is good. You know, we don't look at this. I see all of it as one entity. That's how I was raised, and that's what flows through my life. You know, and it's a blessing to be able to be standing before you guys today because I'm very confident about my service. You got some people that shun me. Now you got to take ownership of what's rightfully yours. Mm-hmm. And this belongs to Stretch Indy LLC. Yeah, Stretch Indy is a legit business, unique. People see the picture, they have to look close because at the studio, when you come in my studio, I got the banner. And when they look at it, they say, is that you? Yeah, when they see the silhouette. It's packed. It's one of a kind. That's why when I ride down the street, you guys think I'm telling you, people they said, man, what? I had one guy the other day, his son jumped out the car. He said, Dad, he said, man, I want to go there. And then his father pulled me over and said, hey, man, speak to you for me. He said, man, what do you do, man? I said, I'm a stretch trainer. He said, oh, man. He said, man, you is what we need. He brought his son to me, a wrestler for Pike High School. Brought his son to me, I stretched him out on this right here. He sent me a text. He said, man, he said, I'm telling you, man, my hip flex. He said, I feel it all back in my hamstrings. And that's even with most of my older clients, because right now I'm starting to see the age of 45. My oldest client is 67. I got Mr. Rick here is one of my
approaching
quite
63.
Well, Rick, he's awesome. He's been with me. How long you been stretching?
We've done 7, 8 sessions. So weeks, however many. Every weeks.
Every week.
Yeah.
In the place where I rent out my studio, it's called Robert Massage and Wellness. So he gets massages and all kind of stuff. He's also tell him Rick, you just signed up for a place I introduce you.
Right, it's called the exercise coach. The philosophy is high intensity, short duration exercise, muscle development focus. And I have to say that combined with the massage, and more importantly, the stuff that you do, Tony, is really significant. And I can tell now, you know, the days when you get out of the chair and you're just really achy, right? And I can tell that working with Tony in particular, that it's, I don't have that achiness anymore. And I can go to cardio or whatever now, which I'm starting to do. And I don't stretch as far as what he can get me to do, but it's easier to do now. And it's, so I'm a big believer in the value of it. Going to, I'll use the word extreme, because I can't get there alone, but it's nice to know my body can get there with help. And that's what you take me to another level. So it's very good, Tony.
Appreciate
I think it'd be great if you could show some stuff on that.
You guys heard it. It's the real deal. I can't stress it enough, just like the doc said, it's very important to maintain, especially your physical body. As you get older, things start to act crazy on you, you know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm 50. But I ain't like my fiance said. She said, you ain't no spring chicken no more though. Which I understand that, you know, I got some improvement to do, we all do. But at the same time, that diet, I tell clients that when they come to me, their body be so tense and tight. And I'll be like, you guys, you drinking water? It's a pH water, alkalinity.
What? Water?
Ain't that something? So they don't know, man, it's like, this right here is like taboo to a lot of people.
I got a Diet Coke and I got
You know, so, you know, water is very important, but it keeps the body hydrated. If you dehydrate, you come to me, it's kind of rough. It's gonna be rough on you, you know, but at the end of the day, we're gonna make it happen. Most definitely, because I promise you, if a client come to me, each client is different. When they come to me, when they leave Stretch Indy, their bodies feel so good. It feel like a breath of fresh air, because everything is circulating, no inflammation, range of motion is good. You know, it depends. Like I said, every client is different. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got.
Now, typically, or is there a normal amount of time that somebody will need to be stretched out for a while?
I'm glad you brought that up, Brother James, because typically I require a client to, it depends too on the client. You know, once I do my assessment on them and physically find out if they got any type of health issues or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's where the waiver come in, because most of my training, my stretch training that I do is non-injuries. Somewhat, if it makes sense. What I mean by that is, I only stretch you to the point where I know and you know that that's my cutoff. Now, if I go over, then that's on me. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm setting myself up for some problems, brother. But anyway, I recommend twice a week. If you're doing a stretch therapy, but if you do stretch training with me, we doing floor stretching. Inversion, then I do strength conditioning too. So I tie all that in.
Can I get one of your cards from the
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I tie all that in with my programs. So you're looking at max. You don't even need. If correct me if I'm wrong, Sensei, because I don't have all the answers. Of course, we learn from you guys. I do anyway. Give or take, maybe 25, 30 minute stretch. If somebody stretch you, or if you're going even if you go to a yoga class, you're not going to be doing yoga. It depends. If you do hatha yoga, that's cool. But if you do Ashtanga is more advanced yoga. Vinyasa is a flow style yoga. I know about all that. I got certified in that. So a lot of times that takes you probably about, it would take a yoga class maybe probably about an hour at the most. But for the most part, with what I do, you're looking at least 35 minutes max. And once you get into the flow, you look up, I done stretch, you be like, man, it seems like I've been here for an hour. Go ahead, Rick.
I'd like to add, because I have the same question you have, is what really is the routine? And like weeks or so, and there was the week where we got the snowstorm, and I had gone like 3 times, and then, so I go on a Saturday, and I wasn't very active that week before the snowstorm. That hit that week, and I did not see Tony. And then the week following, I did a little bit of movement, but the point is, it was 2 weeks between those visits. And I could definitely tell a difference in how I was not stretching as easily. And the first exercise with him was, I resisted a lot, because you're just not used to somebody taking over and doing that stuff. But it's very powerful. What I learned is 2 weeks was a lot not to go to, for me, where I am now. I don't know what that's going to be later, but it definitely, when I don't go, I can feel it through him and how intense it is. So I'm kind of on a path of probably, if I can keep my weeks active, I might start going to him every other week. But right now, for me, it's like, how far can my body go? Because truthfully, he'll take me into positions that I cannot do. Well, I can do with his help, but I cannot do alone.
Right,
So,
I didn't know I could do that.
yeah, so it's like yoga poses, the Cobra one is an example. I love that pose when you're doing it on the floor, right? Well, he will do that, and your arms are above your head, and I feel like I'm standing up, because he pushes it to I just can't do that. And it's just such a wonderful pose, stretch in the back for me. So that's I think the point here for me is he takes you further than you can get yourself. And I think for anybody who's a yoga practitioner, and he and I have talked about it, I think this is a great compliment because it can take you further. You can't get there.
Love that.
So I got a couple of questions for you. So do you consider stretching an exercise?
Because it's physical. It's physical.
Very good.
And there are different stretches that you suggest for different activities?
Yes, sir.
So what would you tell the audience about that?
Say,
What would you tell the audience? I mean, how do they relate to different exercises? What do you suggest for, like, if you're a basketball player, or a runner?
most definitely. Well, I see where you're at. I didn't catch that. Like athletes,
Or just the average person? I mean, they're
this is a hot hitter right here. This therapy, this stress therapy is most definitely, you know what I'm saying? Because like everything is passive. Only thing you gotta do is lay down. I do all the movement and rotation, you know.
Okay, I take water aerobics, and with water aerobics, would that help with your class, that help better with my back?
Your lower back.
Lower back.
Yes, ma'am, most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, cause that, you know, you figured, you said you do water aerobics.
Yes.
Okay.
So high.
At the YMCA, okay, yeah, because it's more physical endurance that you know what I'm saying? And with you complementing the aerobics with the stretching, that'll allow you to open up more mobility and movement. You get a flow, like an agility, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, most definitely. That's why I say.
I have an issue with my back, lower back, sciatica, whatever, I don't know.
You have that sciatica?
Yeah.
Where is it? Is it like maybe?
No, it's my back right here.
Okay.
I don't know if it's sciatica or whatever, I forgot what it was. Went to the doctor, went to therapy, it didn't help, but I took therapy.
Mhm.
But it still hurts when I walk too long, too far. So that's why I was wondering with your therapy, would it help people? Because the water aerobics is just that water aerobics.
We can set, I mean, if you can get in touch with me, I can set you up, and do a session with you on, remember I was talking about the inversion table?
Yeah.
That really helps. It takes a lot of pressure, and stress off of your spine, you know, cause you figure, what's up?
No, go ahead and finish.
No, yeah, cause I wanted to get that out. Cause you know, gravity, it weighs down on the body, okay? So, if you off the ground, upside down, get my drift. All that circulation and pressure is going into the opposite direction of your body, as opposed to why you don't have gravity drop the body. You know, so I would recommend inversion table therapy. How much time we got?
I want a demo, Tony. I
Most
want to hear you
definitely.
talk. I want a demo.
Most definitely, I'm gonna get you.
I want to see somebody pretzel.
On the inverted
About
table,
10-15
so when you're upside down, I know that probably feels really good. But when you come back up, would the problem just come back?
It will vary. Well, we need consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That first session, you know, that's just like if you get an acupuncture with Leslie, you can't just do one session. You got to come on back, man.
That's a good.
And that's the thing, man. People think that, okay, man, I'm gonna go straight. And then next thing you know, they call me 4-5 weeks later. I say, look, man, my schedule's booked up. I can't get you in, sir, man. Because if you would have stayed consistent, we wouldn't have to go through this. You know, self-care is first priority for me. I mean, rather you want to bend the corner like the doc said about the food, when he went to the lady said, why you buying that shit? Because this is me. Them eggs. So that's what it's about. It's about self-care. You know, if you're not dedicated, if you're not consistent, you're not going to see results. I'm just keeping it real.
It's lifestyle.
I can work with anybody in this room and make you feel good. I got, like I said, all my programs are designed specifically for each client. And I'm right down, I move real quick, y'all. I was up here out for, what was that, James, 54?
54, around.
What'd I do, James?
Oh yeah, he upgraded. He upgraded. I mean, see, when we first met, you know, he's out here getting, you know, directions, you know. You know, when time flies, you know, like, hey, we need to hook up, you know, like he said, you know. But, and then he got the spot over at 54th Street, you know, I'm over here, you know, right over here by, I think by Winthrop, you know, by 54th and Winthrop. And then, you know, worked it out, put it in, get it out, and out here getting it, you know, and then, boom, he upgraded, now he's in the heart of Broad River. I mean, he's in prime real estate right now. I mean, he's in the spot. You gonna have to stay there. I mean, because it's hard to get there.
Most definitely.
It's hard to get
Yeah, you can look out where I'm at. I have a garage. Raise my garage door up, and I got the platform and all that, and you can turn straight around like this. You can be standing in my studio, and you can see him running through the mountain on the tree. Hey, buddy, you know, back and forth.
Yeah, Wayne has a question, then I got a question to help.
Okay.
Wayne just has a statement.
Wayne
Wayne just has a statement, I don't have a question. I just, because Tony, he is so excited in his delivery up here. And I just want to share with my brother right now, because I am so elated that you came out and joined us. But most people we really don't understand your full passion, right? Because we haven't really didn't stress nobody. But I just want to tell you that your full passion is so awesome to me, that when he finally did, when God gave him that meeting with me and James, it was when your grandmother passed.
Sure was.
And this gentleman sat down with me and James. All that time he had been busy and busy and busy and busy, but he said God's timing and purpose. He didn't have to sit down with us that day. I wouldn't have sat down with me that day. That's just honest. I would not have. But he sat down with us that day because he was so driven for this business to work. He wanted to know how to get his self-service to work. I just want this program to work. I'm just so excited. I am exhausted.
Oh, appreciate you,
You thought I forgot that?
Yeah.
You were exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
You hadn't had no sleep.
Yeah, right. Yeah, remember that.
And we sat in that room and we prayed and we talked and we designed your business for you.
Yeah.
And look at you running.
Amen.
Now show me some stretch.
Oh, you're getting ready to do that. We got one runner, we got one walker here.
Yeah.
One runner.
I know Erica walks a lot, right?
Sure.
I see her post that she went for a walk in the park, by the way. And then we got Ethan, who's a runner. Is there something that they should concentrate on real quick, on their stretching?
They come see me. Yeah, you know, take it to the next level. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Now, and also, I do create programs for individuals that need to, do their own stretching at home too. Yeah, most definitely that, yeah.
I'll see that demonstration.
Yeah. Who's the guinea pig for me today?
There you go.
Okay, because I'm gonna do 5. I'm gonna do 5 today. You wanna go last when you get through after your? All right. I'm gonna take, Miss, what's your name?
Chris.
Miss Chris, okay. Now, this is a normal demonstration. We're just gonna do 5 minutes on it real quick and show you guys a normal demonstration of what I do. The table's already clean.
I can tell you that I teach some software.
Whoa. Whoa.
I teach what?
Her IT lady. Okay, go ahead.
Hello. Your table's way higher than mine.
Okay. So you wanna keep the pillow?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause some clients, they really be like, man, I don't even need a pillow. I just wanna be comfortable. Okay. So normally I come here, I start at the feet. Okay. Any inflammation or swelling, so apparently through here, there is none. Okay. Leg. This is right here, rotate, sacral, pelvic. See that rotation? The flexibility is pretty good right here. And we come here. Hip flexor.
Do you ever do Thai stretching?
Do I get tired?
No, Thai stretching. It's a form of yoga with stretching like this.
I've heard of that. I heard of that.
It's awesome.
See here. Inhale, exhale, breathe. Relax the knee. There you go. Open it up. There you go. There you go.
So that
So we want to keep you straight.
Yeah,
See
that-
where knee at? See
well,
what's
this
at?
one's the second knee in there.
Okay.
It's had two, it's not a second replacement.
And you got to be gentle. Hear that?
This is what's
Yeah, we don't
messing
go on the
up.
other side. Relax, inhale, exhale, breathe in, exhale out. Tell
You make it look so easy.
Well, you know, you gotta be gentle with it too. Very inclined is different.
For us unexperienced, what are you actually stretching?
Your muscle, ligaments, and tendons, everything,
Tendons, like
all that, yeah. But you also have what you call fascia.
The myofascia.
Yes, you familiar with it, ain't you?
Uh-huh.
fascia. I bet those two are too.
I work with it every day of the week.
I think you got a ringer there. I think you got a ringer on the stretching.
No,
Let's go ahead and turn to the side.
Which side? Because I'm always like this, that I'm like, I'm not very flexible, and I took yoga after having done the
Inhale, exhale. See, now you gotta let me take control, right?
Yes.
Yeah, see, okay, see, you gotta be just like you were saying. There we go, you good.
It takes time to learn how to.
Inhale, exhale, breathe.
You find a lot of people have trouble relaxing enough.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be my issue.
Just let go completely.
My chiropractor was like, better than fall asleep. I kind of, get ready to walk in this way. No, he's gonna be. Can I ask another question? Got another question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm pretty fairly limber for my age.
Yes, sir.
But if I came every day for a year, how much, I'm not, every week for a year, 52 sessions.
He said, I'm in here.
How drastic of a change would I,
Man, wow.
that's what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing.
Man, I'm telling you, you will be,
You think you were 20?
it's gonna have your body. My oldest client is like 72, man.
Okay.
And he's he plays tennis. You know, 100.
Oh, I wonder.
72's not that old.
Does he play tennis? Does he play tennis every day?
What I'll offer is, prior to going to Tony, just bending over and trying to stretch. Pain is too much of a thing to do, but it's just hard to get down. And after I go to him, I can, particularly if I have weights, I can find myself kind of stopping where I normally would, and I just kind of inch myself down. Again, I won't go as far by myself, but I can definitely tell the whole process is easier, but it's not like an immediate down, but I can.
I think you have 4 minutes.
And you're about 2 months a month, so to speak.
Yeah.
And what were you doing prior, what have you done prior?
Nothing. Well, with COVID,
You
not
almost got
getting
a whole
prior to
section here,
COVID, I
like-
was doing massages twice a week. And I just started playing pickleball in the last, since basically January, off and on. But I can tell, and the cardio I go to is a lot of stretching. And I think all I can just say is it's very, you're just more than
Yeah.
and that feels very good. Oh, yes. And actually, he'll say I have good range of motion, and I can't, honestly, I can't tell. I honestly can't tell, but he'll say it as a nice reinforcement. There's,
So depending upon the person, it takes a different amount of time to
Yeah.
retrain your body.
yeah. And there is to the question earlier, I will use the word surrendering with Tony. That first session, I was not surrendering to the moment.
Right.
Well,